Okay, I think we're live. Yes, I think we're live. Hey everyone, it's Alex Barker, founder of the Happy Farm D, and with me today, I'm joined by the beautiful Jackie Boyle and Julie Kidd, two of our coaches as part of our team. And today we're talking about an issue that has gotten a lot more light recently in pharmacy, which is good, and we want to dive in deeper, which is pharmacists are helping people, but who is helping the pharmacist? I posted the other day a fact that I found in Tom Rath's book, How Full is Your Bucket? That bosses essentially are tied to stroke risk. We're not going to dive into the validity of that statement, but I think it's probably no surprise to all of us that work stress is bad and prolonged stress is even worse and can lead to burnout. There are good things about stress, but we know that in order for us to overcome it, we need to take care of ourselves. And that's what we wanted to talk about. Jackie, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, thanks, Alex. And I think your points that you made in your post really hit home and served as a reminder for administrators like myself, because as a administrator, I always want to be thinking of, and I don't know if any of my direct reports are on, but I know for me, it's been really important to keep well-being in mind for my team, because I've worked with individuals who can really help you remind yourself why self-care is important, help you carve out that time even during the workday. But I think, as you mentioned, pharmacists are in the giver mindset so much of the time that we often don't think about what we need to do to refill our cup. If we're constantly running on E, or if we're constantly pouring out of an empty cup, then we all know what happens when your cell phone battery dies. You would rarely let that happen, but it's not often that we are recharging and reinvigorating ourselves. And not all of us may work for employers who really help facilitate that or put it as a high priority. There's a lot usually going on in pharmacy organizations, but the most important asset to an organization is the people that are working in it. So I have a really strong belief that this is a leadership thing that administrators should be thinking about. But I think here at the Happy Farm D, we want to make sure that pharmacists have access to both content and also activities, resources that they could prioritize self-care, because we believe so strongly that this can be helpful for individuals who are constantly giving of themselves. Julie, do you think some of the content we have planned might help with this, or any other thoughts from your perspective on kind of the administrative role or how employers might play a part in self-care or maybe lack thereof?
Yeah, it's a full question, Jackie. But I do, in the past, a couple places where I've worked, there have been a large emphasis on wellness and burnout prevention, which is so incredible. From the top down, to take care of the individuals, because just like you said, the employees are the most valuable asset to an organization. So yeah, I think tomorrow with our wellness retreat, we're going to hit on some of these topics of what it looks like in simple terms of how to take care of yourself. I'm really excited to kind of dumb some of these things down. Meditation, kind of a hot topic, trendy topic. I think before I started doing meditation practices, I was scared of what that looked like and how to do it. My pharmacist type A personality overtook it, so I didn't even allow myself to do it. So now I and let me back up too. So I do think, from your perspective, Jackie, there is a large responsibility from the leadership team to kind of roll out some of these burnout prevention strategies for their team. However, as an employee, I'm responsible for my own well-being, right? And you're saying yesterday, Alex, about blaming others, particularly a boss, won't fix stress. And so even if you're not getting that support, or even if you're getting that support, but it's still not necessarily what you as an individual need to support your well-being, you're responsible for yourself. And so there's things that we'll cover tomorrow in our RX Wellness event that I think the three of us are practicing in our daily lives to make sure those are the things that we individually need, even if maybe we aren't getting that support from our admin team or our leadership team. So again, just kind of excited to dumb things down for busy working pharmacists, simple things that you can incorporate into your daily life that can really impact your mind, your body, your spirit, to kind of put you in a different mindset.
And I think
Absolutely.
oh, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to add that earlier this week, I put the question out there on LinkedIn, should pharmacy employers provide wellness resources? And unsurprisingly, 96% of people said yes. But I did a CE on burnout this week and interventions on what companies need to do in order to fix this wellness problem. Many of the studies that are out there on availability of resources show that anywhere from like 15% to, at the highest I saw, was 45% of employees in pharmacy have access to these kind of resources. And many people don't even, what they also found was that people don't even know what like a well-being resource is, or even if it's available. Some companies do have sources, but they don't like advertise that they have it as well.
Yeah, those are so many great points, Alex. I just worked with a student and a resident on a short article recently about employer wellness resources and utilization of them, because I think awareness is one thing, but interestingly, for employers across all industries, utilization of wellness programs is about 3 to 5%. It's a really sad number in my mind. But if you think about it, having those resources is obviously a great thing for organizations. But if your employees don't have the time to use it, are confused about how it works, maybe it's another platform they have to log into, and it's just one more complication that gets in the way. I know sometimes it can provide even more stress to try to meet employer wellness goals or requirements that are laid out at times. So I think the intention is always good, but perhaps the practical nature of implementing programs could be challenges across all industries. So that's a really interesting point that you bring up too, that maybe not even all pharmacists are aware of what exists within their company too.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a large part of what we'll be doing tomorrow as well, is setting goals, right? So maybe you have all these resources at your fingertips, but maybe it's overwhelming, or maybe that's just not what you need in this particular season. So I'm really excited about tomorrow morning, just doing some exercises with other pharmacists to set goals for our individual self, professionally, personally, spiritually. What do we want 2021 to look like? And to say that, to write it down and to say it out loud, and to have other people witness that. I think that gives a lot of validity to goals that you want to do. So I'm just really excited to hear about maybe resources that employers are providing for pharmacists, but how do we want to take action and put legs to those things and make those action steps come true in 21, so that we are our best selves at home and in the workplace and in our community. So I think I'm maybe most excited about that activity tomorrow morning, as we share together some of our dreams and our goals. And I think for me, it's sometimes really scary to say my dreams out loud, like, are they too big? Are they, and so I think it's going to be really fun to do that in a safe spot, and to have some accountability with people after the retreat as well, to make sure that we are, if we say we're going to do it, that we're taking those baby steps each day and each week to accomplish those things.
Yeah, and to your point, Julie, I think in our last live, we talked about, Nizan and I talked about resolutions and kind of making things habits and having that accountability after the fact too. So while we'll be doing a lot during the event, we will, for attendees, also have a 21-day accountability group that just checks in with each other to hold the group accountable. Because I know the first step is really getting it all out there, and saying your dreams out loud is a huge thing to put into the world. But then following through with it is another challenge that, is a real challenge. I'll admit it myself too, that behavioral change and putting change into action is really hard. And we want to normalize that and have just a group of like-minded individuals who can work together to keep this momentum going forward, and have that accountability continue even beyond tomorrow. Alex, any other thoughts from your perspective as someone who's part of this, kind of launching us for the first time out into the world? I know I've been bugging you about live events for some time now, and we're making it by tomorrow. But any things that you're excited about seeing from this event?
Well, the ideal is probably what we want for our company, which is to help pharmacists create inspiring careers and lives. And I feel often like our profession has a really poor well-being state. I think it's why many of the associations are focusing on this now, because they recognize we're really unhappy. We're really highly paid, unhappy people. And that's a large, brush to sloth. And it's not true. You can find a great job in pharmacy still. Yes, even in the traditional retail pharmacy and hospital settings, but it's about being intentional and making that happen. For this, you're right, Jackie. I was really scared to do live events, but I'm really excited to do more of these, and I'm excited to see what happens with this one. I know that you have 5 spots left for the wellness retreat tomorrow. So if you are interested in it, check out our link. We have it in the chat. We'd love for you to attend and really ideally start 2021 as your best year ever. I'm excited about it. And truthfully, I think in our own company, we've had to focus on this for ourselves. And that I think this kind of was born out of that idea that we need, we're wanting to help pharmacists, but we also need to focus on helping ourselves. It's why we have retreats. And hopefully we get to meet this year, Jackie, and not be scared of COVID. Jackie. Sorry.
Wow. Public. That's hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, we'd love for you to attend our virtual COVID-free event. It starts tomorrow.
Very safe.
And yeah, very, very safe. So we will say that it's open. We got 5 more spots. Links there. And we're excited to have anyone. Anyone else want to share anything before we close?
Should we recap just what the agenda is going to be, Jackie?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We're going to start off the morning with an awesome yoga session with Christina Martin, one of my good friends who's coming in to provide a really beginner level yoga session for us. And then we'll have a little bit of a break, move into a meditation exercise with Nizan, where we will not be meditating for the entire time, but really gaining some very quick tips about how to put this into practice in a sustainable way as well. So there'll be a mix of teaching and doing at the same time. And then Julie's got an awesome elixir recipe that we're going to make together to really focus on that nutritional aspect of wellness. And then we'll wrap up the day with setting those goals and intentions for 2021 as a group and sharing with each other so that we start that accountability even tomorrow morning. So I'm super excited for all the programming and what's going to come out of this. Like Alex mentioned, we wanted to keep it small, but we opened up a few more spots because we don't want to limit it to anyone who's still interested, even though it's the day before. We have a few that are available still. So we really hope you can make it. If you can't, I know we've gotten some inquiries about further events in the future. We certainly will be having further events. So if you have to miss this one, we'll miss you, but hope to bring you into further events as we plan them out for 2021 and beyond.
Awesome. Jackie, Julie, I love you guys. Thank you much for being here and sharing more. I appreciate it. See you, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See ya.